Hey everyone, welcome to the second video of the Python function series. On your screen you can see the list of topics that I am planning to cover throughout this video series. If you think that I am missing some topic, do let me know in the comment box. In the first part I covered the very basic stuff like function, how to define a function without parameters and with parameters and default arguments. Now in this second part I am planning to cover positional and keyword arguments and how we can use positional, keyword and default arguments all together in one function. Let me define a function here. Let us call it subtract, which takes two parameters a and b, and what it does is that it prints a minus b. So now when I try to call this function like subtract and pass here the parameters 10 and 5, what happens here is that this a and b are called positional parameters. 10, the first argument, is mapped to first parameter a. 5, the second argument, is mapped to second parameter b. So when I run this program, what happens here is that I am getting the output 5. Let us take one more example. I am defining another function. Let me call that country capital, and this is going to take two parameters, country and capital, and it is going to print. I am using here an f string. Capital is the capital of country. Now when I am calling this function, let us say country is India and capital is New Delhi. Now when I run this program, I am getting New Delhi is the capital of India. So far so good. So here India first argument is mapped to country, that is first parameter, and this New Delhi is mapped to capital, which is the second parameter. Easy peasy. But one thing that you must note, that in positional arguments order matters. So if I come back to this example, now what happens is that when I write here subtract 5 comma 10, now I will be getting the output minus 5. This is producing the output 5, and this line number 5 is producing the output minus 5. Similarly, if I come back to this program and I call this the just the opposite way. Now here I put New Delhi and here I put India. Now it is going to produce India is the capital of New Delhi. Reason? Because argument at the first position is getting mapped to the parameter at first position. So my country becomes New Delhi in this case and the capital becomes India this case. So therefore order matters when we are using positional parameters. To overcome this, we can use keyword arguments. Let me copy these two lines of codes from here and come down here, and what we can I need to uncomment this, and when I am calling this function subtract, what I can say here is that a is equal to 10 and b is equal to 5, and here position does not matter. I will show it to you in a minute. Now if I run, when I am running this program, I am getting 5 output. Now what I do is that I am just going to change the position. So now I am going to put first b is equal to 5 and a is equal to 10. Still I am going to get the very same output. You can see here both the lines of code are giving me output as 5. Let's see the other example that we have picked up from here. So let's come down here, paste it, uncomment it, and while calling this function country capital, I can specify here capital is equal to New Delhi, and then I can write here India. Clear the terminal. Okay, I did the mistake here, but okay, I want you to notice this thing. Syntax error. Positional argument follows keyword argument, that I am going to deal a little later. Bear with me till that time. So here I should have written here country is equal to India. Now if I run this program, it should give me the correct output. New Delhi is the capital of India. So it means that in whenever we are using keyword arguments, position does not matter, so it gives you more freedom, and this method is less error prone. Coming back to the earlier program, which was throwing me a syntax error, positional argument follows the keyword argument. Let us understand this. This was the program. If I am going to run this, it is throwing this error. Syntax error, positional argument follows the keyword argument. What does it mean is that this is my keyword argument and it must be after the positional argument, which is India. So if I do something like this here, it should work now. If so, now I am getting New Delhi is the capital of India. Coming back to this subtract program, this is another example. If I try to run this like something like this, if I just put here a is equal to 10 and I give here 5. If you notice, I am already getting a little red below this 5. So IDE is throwing an error. So if I am going to run this, again I am getting an error, the error, syntax error, positional argument follows the keyword argument. So to correct this program, I have to write something like this, subtract, then I need to give my first 10 and then b is equal to 5, and now I believe it should be working perfectly fine. Now you see here I am getting 5. So what it means, just to repeat, the positional arguments must come first and any keyword arguments must be after the positional argument. Now the interesting thing is that in the last video I have spoken about the default argument. We can combine all these positional, keyword and default arguments into a single function. I'm going to define a function called add, which is going to accept three parameters a, b and c, and it is going to give us the sum of all the three numbers. So let it write a little beautifully. Now what it is going to do is that print a plus b plus c. Now I am going to call this function three times, first with 10, 20 and 30 with all the three parameters or arguments. Second time I am going to call it with only 2, and third time I am going to call it with the functional positional parameter. C is equal to 30, A is equal to 10 and B is equal to 20. I should be getting the output for all the three. So line number 36, it is very straightforward. This 10 is getting assigned to A, this 20 is getting assigned to B, and because we are passing the value for C 30, so this C is equal to 1 gets overridden and C becomes 30. Therefore I am getting here 60. In the line number 37, I am just passing two arguments, so 10 gets assigned to A and 20 gets assigned to B, and C is our default argument, which is 1. Therefore I am getting here 31. And again this is very straightforward. Here I am giving keyword arguments. Even though the order is jumbled up, it is producing me the right output. One thing that you need to notice here is that if I try to do something like this in function, so let me copy it from here. While defining the function, you need to pay attention to this. So now if I try to make b is equal to 1 and I make c a non-default argument, here you will also see a little red mark that is coming just below the c. So if I try to call this, let me copy this from here and put it over here. Again, this is going to throw an error, and this error is that syntax error. So non-default argument follows the default argument. It means that the default argument when we are defining a function should always be the last parameter. The moment I change it, it will be okay. If I just pick it up like this and just make it something like this here, now you see it is fine and it should give me an output here. This is all for this video. I'm going to put all these codes on my GitHub page and share the link into the description box. If you find this video useful, consider giving it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. Till that time, happy coding.